Oh my gosh. It's 6:35 a.m. and I am already fighting mosquitoes. Wild times out here in the apiary. It is 6:35 a.m. as I said. Super freaking early. It's July 9th. It's only a couple of days after I put my treatments on. It is 94% humidity. Wild. All right, so I have some dire news to report, Dad. I was at the county bee meeting last night, and there was a pre-discussion meeting where there was maybe somewhere between, I don't know, 15, more than 15, somewhere around 25 people, somewhere around in that range of people. A mixture between newer beekeepers or people who had questions, such as myself, and older, long-term, veteran beekeepers. And apparently, this year is a very unusual year. It's not just me who can't pull honey this year, Dad, or is having trouble getting their bees to cap honey this year. It's everybody. All those people sitting around. We're all having the same issues. And even after, oh my gosh, the mosquitoes, man. Even after the discussion was over and the meeting happened, and then there was an interim space, I then got to talk to more beekeepers who weren't in that discussion earlier, and they were expressing they were having the same exact issues. That this year, because of this unusual weather that we had this year, and the heat dome that just came in and just crisped everything, it sped everything up along a lot faster than usual, or killed things off that should have been in bloom longer. And so unfortunately, what I thought I was reading as the bees not liking the queen excluders, and therefore the bait frames that were on the other side of the queen excluders, I thought they were moving the honey back over. Wrong. They are consuming it. They are actually eating it because, one, they're not really capping because the humidity is so high and the heat is so high. It's harder for them to dry it out if the air is so thick with moisture, right? But also because we've hit this sort of early dearth period than we normally would, they are actually consuming the honey. So I know that they haven't capped the honey yet. I have been talking, last night I talked to some people who had game plans for this kind of situation. They said that this is an unusual year, but it's not uncommon for beekeepers to take some frames that are not capped the way they should be, or the way you would normally pull them if they were 80% capped or more, and do some dehumidifying aspects to the frames to help that process along. So I have my refractometer. It is calibrated. I wrote down some frames that I can pull from Mimi, Carol, and Sharon's hive from the other day when I went through with Griffin, my son, and checked out those frames. I'm not sure if I'm really going to pull anything from Miss Lee and Renee, because if I remember correctly, they didn't really have much in them to pull. Also, looking back at some of the videos for Mimi, she's got some severe small hive beetle issues, and so there were some frames that she wasn't filling out. I'm going to take those. I think I'm just going to cut it. Give her less space, give the small hive beetles less space, and give more space, less space for the bees to actually protect and manage the small hive beetle problem. These frames right here are spring frames that I pulled, and I have more. These frames are not fully from nectaries, so I pulled them when I did my honey supers this year, so I knew what I have in there is from nectaries, actually honey. This is a mixture of 1-to-1 sugar that I was feeding and Hive Alive fondant, whatever they made out of that, and a little bit of the spring flow. So these frames are kind of a mixture of all that. The frames that I'm taking today, I will replace with these frames. So I'm not leaving them with nothing. I'm not pulling all their honey and just being like, okay, good luck. I'm gonna give them back the feed that I took this spring, so they should be okay. And because we are now in a dearth, it is now recommended to start feeding until we have that. Locally here in my area, we have a small, like this. You wouldn't even consider it really a fall flow, where the goldenrod and asterisks, or whatever, however you say it, come in. There's a little bit of small fall flow that sort of helps buffer that. Plus we have spotted lanternfly, honeydew, honey. But that generally doesn't start until August. So around that time, they should have a little bit of a buffer to get them back up. But in the meantime, I'm gonna give them these frames. So that is the plan today. That was kind of a long intro. Not super excited. I would have rather, for my first year pulling honey, had a smoother year where they capped the honey, but that wasn't in the cards, Dad, sorry. But good news is, I am gonna pull some frames. We're just gonna like artificially dry it out ourselves. Which I'm kind of like I said, I'm disappointed at, but it is what it is. So conclusion is, it's not that the bees didn't like the queen excluder, it's just that we had a weird year. It's still a possibility it might work next year. I'm not completely throwing it out, but that is where we sit. So let's jump in before the day gets too far gone. Love you. All right, Dad, we're jumping in. My plan today was actually not to do this. It was to clean the oil trays. Plans had to change. I'm gonna try and use no smoke. I don't know if that plan's gonna work, but I really just, honestly, the game plan here is to be in and out. Super fast, do what I gotta do, take off. Great. We've got bees hanging out already. Hot, humid weather. Hello, good morning, ladies. Good morning. I have in my notes that Mimi's frame that I want to pull, even though it's not much. Oh my gosh, come on now. Is the 5th frame in. Oh, see, and now we got small high beetles. Alright, ladies, I'm really sorry. I know that you're probably so sick of me bothering you this week. Usually I give it like, I don't know, something like 2 weeks in between inspections in the summertime, or like before I go in. I like to give them good enough time between inspections in summer. It's hot. They're doing their thing. I don't really want to bother them. I don't want to be out here in the heat. You know what I mean? So I try not to bother them too much in the summer. Wow, they have propolized this properly. Good job, ladies. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I wrote 5th frame in, but I only have 4 frames here. Did I take a frame away last time I was in here? This is what happens when you don't look at your videos and make your notes before going back in. So I did take a frame, trying to help them with the small hive beetle issue. I'm working calmly and slowly. This is the frame. It's got a good amount of weight to it. They haven't quite filled the whole thing out, but they have capped the majority of it. And even though the cells don't reach the edges, I feel like this is as good as it's gonna get. Is it dripping? Not dripping. Not dripping. That's a good sign. That's a good sign that it's thickened up. They just didn't cap it. So I'm going to push, you know what? And I'm going to take that queen excluder out. Griffin's probably going to be upset because he wanted to come out here with me this morning. Or like go, he really liked beekeeping. So he was like, next time you go in, let me know. But I got up super early this morning to be out here right now. And I didn't think that he'd want to wake up that early. So I'm going to let him sleep. Oh gosh, it smells so good. Not a huge fan of working in the heat, but I will say, with the heat comes this hot nectar, wax smell, like just the workings of the bees. It smells so good. Hello, Miss Lady. All right, yep. And we got this brood frame and then this one empty frame. It's not empty, but yeah, I think that they'll enjoy this. I took one frame of their honey, even though it's not much. I'm actually going to give them back more than I took. So haha. Lucky them. In fact, let's do the refractometer. Let's do it. We're going to need quite a bit. How do I get a good view of it? I don't want to mess up the cells, man. All right. Got our refractometer. Put that on there. Let's see if I can look at this through my veil. Oh, it's so humid outside. It's so humid outside. The screen I can't see through the screen. Oh my gosh. Actually, it's a little, so I just scraped the uncapped honey. So the nectar, or uncapped honey, whatever you want to call it. And it is actually at, it's so hard to see through this. The line is just at or before, just the bare minimum before 18. So that's actually perfect. Actually perfect. This is a beautiful frame from spring. The entire thing is filled with nectar and partial capped honey. So it's beautiful. They should really enjoy that. Look, that's where I opened it. The ladies are obsessed. Good grip on it. Sorry, ladies. Stealing it. And these ladies are like, no, we're not going. No thanks. I like this honey. I hear you. I hear you. Now you ladies are in. Give you a brand new frame of delicious honey. Or nectar. Whatever source it is that you guys made. There we go. Happy ladies, happy ladies. Very good, very good. right, we're moving on. Moving on to Carol. All right, for Carol's hive, my note says she has one frame and it's the third one in, is what I wrote. Wow, there's a lot of ladies over here. You hot ladies? Yeah, you hanging out? Yeah, it's hot out there. It's hot already. We already took out her queen excluder, so with Carol, the thing will be checking to make sure that the queen, since we took out the queen excluder, has not laid eggs in the frame we want to pull. My only hope is that because the bee is the ladies made it into a honey frame and the frames are therefore deeper than a brood frame would be, because brood frames have to be a certain size for the queen, that she did not lay eggs in it. Alright, we're going for the third frame in. No smoke, baby. If this was the one I was going to pull, it already feels super light. They are actually uncapping. Yeah, no, they are uncapping this. Any eggs? Any signs of a queen being over here at any point? Sorry. You were under my hand though, to be fair. Alright, no eggs. Wonderful. Alright, so this is what I mean by uncapping. Look at this right here. This was capped. And they have started to uncap it to eat what was underneath. Look at that. What is that? Squash bug? Looks like a squash bug. But anyways, you see what I mean. But there's no eggs in here. And even though it's barely capped, at some point they were thinking about it or they had it capped. So I'm taking it. And we'll see what the reading says. Let's do a little shake. Nothing coming out. I saw a little, ooh, yep, there's a little bit at the very bottom cells. But if I'm right, the top cells are not gonna have an issue. It's at 23. That's really high. That is really, really high. All right, now the question becomes, do I pull it? Do I dehydrate it myself? I feel like the answer should be yes. Because otherwise, we're just not gonna get anything. I'm gonna artificially dehydrate it anyways. Alright ladies, I leave you to it. Enjoy the new frame that I put in. Thank you. Thank you for your service. Sorry it's been such a weird year. All right, awesome. We are done with Carol. We're on to Sharon, and that's our last hive. All right, and we are moving on to Sharon's hive. Sharon's hive. Let's see what we are going to pull from Sharon. Sharon's hive notes I have right here in my little Post-it note. First frame and third frame and then fifth frame. So it's every other frame. So I'm getting 3 frames from Sharon. She's an overachiever in this awful honey harvest we've been having. Very active this morning. And I don't have smoke, at least not started. So, are we gonna have feisty bees? Quite possibly. Alright, yes. My finger's sticking to it, but this is a frame I am pulling. Lots of nectar. Yeah. There's a few frames or cells that have honey buried. Like they put they put pollen in the very bottom of the cell and then they just covered it with nectar. It is what it is. So this one I'm taking. So they get three frames from the spring. This one is much heavier, my goodness. This one had some drone cells in the bottom of it at one point, and they have filled it with nectar. This is also a gorgeous frame. This one is my fattest frame. This is the double capping frame. I'm going to take the queen excluder out and I'm going to fill in where I took those frames out with the spring frames. I'm not going to test this one either. I'm going to test the very last one, the one I think would be my highest number. It's hard to see through the screen, but it is at 20, I would say 21.5. So also high number. Also a high number. It's okay, we're gonna fix it. that went brilliantly. Dad, got a few frames. It's not much this year, but it's at least something. And even though it's hot, since I was told we have entered the dearth period, I am closing the doors down just a little bit. Not all the way, so they can still come out and beard, but so that they have less space to protect in case robbing starts anytime soon. I mean, could I check Renee and Miss Lee? Yeah, but if I remember correctly, I took out the queen excluder for Miss Lee because she just wasn't doing too much. I don't remember what I did for Renee, to be honest with you. I haven't looked back at the videos for her. So that's about it for now. All right, Dad, love you all the time, every day. We got a lot to talk about. Thanks for watching. Take care. I'll see you later.